Good morning, students. How are you? Welcome back to your English class. Dear students, do you like to play with toys during your free time? Yes, we all love to play. Or do you love to play with car? And have you beaten drum in your free time? It's so lovely. And girls love to play with dolls. And do you know, when I was a kid, I loved to listen to the stories based on dolls. And today, we are going to read Lesson 6, The 4 Dolls, given in your book Sunbeams. So open your books on page number 41. Let's start. Can you see this picture? Who's this? Yes, this is a prince. So let's read now. Follow pronunciation as well as my fall and rise in the tone while I read. And try to follow that. A sage presented a prince with a set of 3 small dolls. The prince was not amused. Am I a small child that you give me dolls? He asked. This is a gift for a future king, said the sage. Students, before explanation, let's discuss similar meanings of difficult words. Your first difficult word is sage, and the meaning of sage is a wise man. In olden days, in Rishi Munis, we used to call them sage. Next word is presented. Presented means gave someone something or to gift something. Gifted. Amused. Amused means pleased or happy. So once there was a sage and he gifted a set of 3 small dolls to a prince. But the prince was not happy with the gift at all. Do you know why? Because he thought he was not a child whom the sage gifted dolls. He is a grown-up man. So he was wondering why the sage gifted him dolls. So the sage replied. He explained to the prince that the gift was for future king. It means the sage wanted to teach a valuable lesson to the prince with the help of those dolls. Understood? Let's move ahead. If you look carefully, you will see a hole in the ear of each doll. So, the sage handed him a piece of string. Pass it through each doll, he said. Now, when the sage gifted those dolls, he asked the prince to look at those dolls carefully. Carefully means with quite attention, with proper attention. And he told the prince that he would see a hole in the ear of every doll. The prince asked, then so means then what if I see those holes? What's the meaning of that? So the sage handed him a piece of string. Piece of string means a long thread, and asked him to pass that thread through the hole of each doll. Intrigued, the prince picked up the first doll and put the string into the ear. It came out of the other ear. So intrigued the prince. Intrigued here means very curious. The prince was very curious, very interested to know what would happen when he would pass that thread into the hole. So quickly he picked up the first doll and put that string into the ear. Into the ear means into the hole that was in the ear. So the thread came out of the other ear. So similar meaning here is carefully. First word is carefully. Carefully means with proper attention, giving full attention. Next, handed. Handed means gave something to someone. String means thread. Intrigued means entrusted. This is one type of person, said the sage. Whatever you tell him comes out from the other ear. He doesn't retain anything. Now, the sage explained the prince. So, the first doll is a kind of a person who never retain anything. Retain means never remember anything. Forgets. That person always forgets. Never keep that thing with him. Whatever you will tell him goes from one ear and it comes out from the other ear. That means he never tries to understand and keep that thing with him or her. The prince put the string into the second doll. It came out from the mouth. Now second time, again prince put the string into the hole of the second doll, and this time the thread came out from the mouth. So children, first time the thread ear, other ear, and second time when he put the thread into the hole of the ear, it came out from the mouth. So what did the sage explain? Let's find out. This is the second type of person, said the sage. Whatever you tell him, he tells everybody else. That means the second type of doll is a type of a person who never keeps your secret. If you tell somebody something, it will tell everyone. So, the second doll is a kind of person who could never keep secrets. Let's move ahead. The prince picked up the third doll and repeated the process. The string did not reappear from anywhere else. And the third time, when the prince picked up the third doll and again he tried to put the thread into the hole of the third doll, the string did not reappear, did not came out from anywhere else. It stayed inside the doll. Fine? This is the third type of person, said the sage. Whatever you tell him is locked up within him. It never comes out. So the sage told that, my dear prince, the third type of a doll is a kind of a person who never shares anything, who always keeps everything to him or her, who never discloses his or her feelings or whatever he or she has learned to anybody else. Do you know that's useless again? If you are learning something and not telling anybody else, again it's useless. So let's find out what happened next. What is the best type of person? Asked the prince. In answer, the sage handed him a fourth doll. Now the prince is very curious to know कि out of those three dolls, which is the best type of person? And the sage told, no, not all those three dolls were perfect. So, in answer to the question that the prince asked, the sage gave the prince a fourth doll. Fine? When the prince put the string into the doll, it came out from the other ear. Do it again, said the sage. The prince repeated the process. This time, the string came out from the mouth. When he put the string in a third time, it did not come out at all. Now, the last doll which the prince got, what he did? He took that doll and again started putting this thread into the hole. For the first time, the thread came out from the other ear. When he put the thread in the hole for the second time, it came out from the mouth. And when he put the thread for the third time, the thread did not come out at all. It remained inside the doll. So, this is the best type of person, said the sage. To be trustworthy, a man must know when not to listen, when to remain silent, and when to speak out. So, the sage explained the prince that the fourth doll is the best type of person. Best type of person, who's that? The person who's trustworthy. Who's trustworthy means on whom we could rely, we could trust. So, that trustworthy person is a man who must know when not to listen, when to remain silent, and when to speak out. That means not every time, but you must know your timings while listening, while remaining silent, and while speaking out. The learning outcome of the chapter? The learning outcome of the chapter is say good things and listen to good things. Never try to indulge yourself in bad habits. So that's all about the chapter, students.